Hello, everyone. My name is Pedro, and you are listening to The Bailey Boys Show. This week, we accidentally didn't post last week because things happened.
We had some technical difficulties,
but this week we are back in town.
We're back and better than ever. We got some fresh, funny content prepared for you.
For those of you on YouTube, I have a new microphone that I'm testing out. So we'll see how this goes.
We have an announcement. We're doing a YouTube live stream August 26th, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be during the bachelor party trip, so you'll want to check that out. We're going to be pre-gaming the bars while we live stream. Going to have a couple of guests on. Steven and Kyle will be with us. Maybe Max, we'll see. But go check that out. 5 p.m. Eastern Time. YouTube will see it first, and then the audio from that session will get posted to the podcast on Wednesday. But things we've got lined up for today. We did a poll on our last episode. And it has returned that several individuals wanted to know how to gain friends in college. What do you got for them? What do you got?
Oh boy. First of all, I guess, and this is cool because people are just starting back up now, right? I think last week was the initial
Friday or Thursday, something like that.
Yeah. Do classes start this week or next week? I think classes start this week, right?
This week, I think, yeah.
So Monday. So today, by the magic of editing, today is Wednesday, my guys. How are classes going? What's It's Wednesday, 9 a.m. Are you in class right now, listening to the podcast? Or
yeah. By the way, this is a secret tip for everyone out there. If you wear a hoodie or like a hat, or you have like some foofy hair, and you have a class that you just really hate, put in one of those earbuds, start a podcast, and just drone out the boring ass class. I did that for at least 3 or 4 classes. He taught me, and the teacher taught me a couple of times, and he started putting no headphones in his classroom policy. But so.
Yeah. No, but I guess tips for making friends. I guess number one is try to hang out with the people in your dorm. If you're in a dorm, you know.
So I'm a little more. I won't say more prepared, but I have a few things written down since I was the one who reviewed the poll. Big thing I think is leave your door open if you're living in the dorms. So like when everybody walks by, you're always like, oh hey, what's up? You talk to them. I mean, you're probably gonna meet a lot of weirdies that way, but you also might meet some cool people. That's
exactly.
It happens. But another big one I know especially for Darcy, was Lince. She would go up to like random people at Lince and just start talking and having a meal with people. So when you're in the dining hall, don't be afraid to just go up and start chatting somebody up, especially if they're sitting alone. Like if you're going out in a group, that can be intimidating, but if like they're sitting alone, that's a perfect opportunity for you to like start a conversation.
Be like, this seat taken? Especially if they're at like a high table that only has like 2 seats.
Yeah. And
like they're sitting there, like it can be intimidating to just go up and like talk to somebody that's sitting there. But if you like sit close to them, like 2 chairs, sit opposite ends, and be like, hey man, do I know you from somewhere? What's up? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just kind of chat them up.
Also kind of brings to the next part, like if you know them, like in from like a class or like an RSO or like a club,
Right.
Definitely easier to start a conversation. I know I didn't do a whole lot of clubs my first year just because I was lazy and didn't really want to be involved. But after I did start being involved with clubs, our friend group grew quite a bit, and we started inviting a lot more people to some of our outings and stuff. So
True. Yeah, if you're a civil engineer out there, you should definitely join the Steel Bridge team.
Yes. Steel Bridge team is pretty bomb. And then some fun things that to do is like I don't know if they allow you to put flyers up or like even talk about it, but I know my freshman year, maybe even like both, the RA like got together with our entire floor to do like some cool outings. So like if your RA is not doing something like that, you could just ask him to or ask whoever is your RA to like type it in the chat because everybody's got a chat and see if they you can start planning an outing. I know, in Carbondale specifically, there's cliff jumping, hiking. I mean, you've got Solar Bear within the first couple of weeks. There's a lot of things that you can do as a group. And then outings in general, I mean, there's bars, parties, football games. You know, you got all sorts of stuff there at the beginning of the year that you can use to try and make friends and organize stuff. But I think for me, it was a little easier because I had met you the year before, and I would just, after y'all knocked on my door, I latched on. But I had an easier experience, I would say, than most people do. But we still like made quite a bit of friends after our freshman year. We would always have like a new class, if you will, that entered the friend group, you know.
Yeah, we'd keep renewing. I think by the time you got to your senior year, we didn't have too many freshmen, just because that age gap was too big. But we I think the friends we made friends with freshmen.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah. That's generally how it goes. Is like you know you got the parents of the group, and then honestly our group expanded quite a bit over the 3 or 4 years. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people that we knew and hung out with all the time, and it all started in the dorms. Like after we moved out to the apartments, we didn't see each other as much, but then we also all partied together and everything. So.
Yeah, at least every weekend.
Yeah.
Not during the weekend. Right, exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, those are our tips. If you have any like specific questions or like, I don't know, if you have a situation that you want us to give advice on, feel free to leave a comment on the Spotify Q&A, or you can hit us up on DMs for the Instagram. I'd be happy to talk about that some more. But that's just kind of some of our general stuff to help with that. Talking about Kentucky today, the Kentucky trip. Do you remember the Kentucky trip well?
No. Yeah, I remember. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was.
Was that after my freshman year?
Yeah, so it was around this time, maybe end of July or mid-July.
It was in July for sure, because we had planned 2 camping trips for this summer. Planned one at Lake Shelbyville, which was close to where I was at, and I ended up not being able to go the first day because I didn't realize that weekend was the weekend that Dylan left for basic training.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember. Yep.
I came in late, but I still came. And then Kentucky was the big one. We were taking a big trip to Kentucky. And I remember we each had like our rolls to bring like certain things. That way we weren't like starving and stuff. But yeah.
Kentucky was wild, man. It was the summer of COVID. It was summer of 2020. Everything was masks and like, don't go out if you don't need to go out, and watch out at the supermarket.
I'm not afraid to say that we were probably a little irresponsible when it came to that, but like we're college kids. And we had already been like restricted to just the dorm for like however long that was. So we just really needed to get out and do some fun stuff. And camping is not like, I feel like that's a pretty good activity in terms of what we could have been doing, you know?
Yeah, but, for sure. No, but it was fun. Yeah, we drove down there on 2 separate cars. Because you picked up Steven on your car.
Right.
And Kai came down from Chicago.
Right. So Steven and I live like 10 or 15 minutes apart during the summertime because our families are from around the same area. And so I picked him up, and Steven and I headed to Carbondale because the original plan was that it was going to be Steven, me, and the RA, our freshman RA.
True.
And so we were going to go down there and pick him up and also pick up supplies.
Boatload of supplies.
Supplies in quotes. But,
My God.
We ended up going down there, and the supplies weren't ready yet. So we ate Don Taco without y'all, and we were rubbing it in your face. It was hilarious.
It was so annoying because we got there, and we were like racing. I remember we were like on the phone, like, "Where are you? What's the ETA on your time on your GPS?" And I was like, "I'm gonna start going faster." And me and Kai were zooming down in Indiana, bro, until he got to Louisville because we were going down south.
Yeah,
it was so fun.
I remember the race. So like the RA ended up dropping out. I don't remember why at this time.
Yeah, he dropped out. I don't remember why either. But I know he got us the supplies, right?
Yeah, he still got us the supplies. So we picked up the supplies. We got a whole 24-pack of Miller Lite and a handle of Pineapple New Amsterdam vodka.
Oh, a handle. About max, a jug, basically.
Yeah.
Jeez. So, yeah, that was the correct choice. For sure. To get that handle.
After we secured the supplies, we started heading that way, and yeah, we were absolutely racing. And I remember being super, super pissed off because like me and Steven had the head start on you guys. Like we were supposed to be there way sooner. And I'm generally a pretty responsible driver, so I'm not gonna go like 90 miles an hour. But I was going fairly fast for me. I was like, okay, we gotta beat them. We can't let them beat us. I remember we got to like middle Kentucky like as soon as it got dark, and trying to navigate all those like curvy ass roads was so difficult. So I had to slow down. There was nothing I could do, and my window was fogging up. Like it was just I couldn't keep it from.
For real.
So it was super hot outside, so I would have to put the defrost on for like 30 seconds. Then we'd get too hot, so I'd turn it off, fog up immediately, turn it back on. It was such a process, but we ended up getting there, and we were like 30 seconds behind you guys. You guys beat us by like 30 seconds.
It was so funny because we drove in, and I'm like, dang it, these fucks are going to be here already. And then we drove in, we stopped in our little camping spot that had it was like one of those camping spots that didn't have any electricity. Nothing, right? It just had like a bathroom in the middle of the camping like location, place thing. And yeah, we pulled up, and then you guys pulled up right after like 30 seconds later. It was so funny.
Yeah, well, I remember being really upset about that, but that's all right. We still ended up having a good time. After we arrived, I'm pretty sure we got the tent set up and everything, but I don't think we had a fire that night. We just sat around.
Yeah, we set up the tents, and then because we had to sleep, and it was like 11 probably already, 11 or 12.
Yeah. Well, I think we stayed up a little while and we drank a few beers and just talked and caught up because it was the summer, so we hadn't seen each other since the last camping trip, which was June something.
Right. Yeah. So it was like a month.
Yeah, but so we drank a few beers, I think. And my job was to bring drinks, so I had some sodas, some waters, and of course the goods in the cooler. And I think was it you or Kai's job to bring food? I think Kai had some like Uncrustables that he had bought.
Kai had food. I probably brought some mini snacks. I know Steven brought the food, the bulk of the food, because yeah.
He went ham the next night. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it was like 80 degrees, 85, all day, all the time. At night it was like 75 probably, right?
No, it was hotter than that, dude. So
was it really?
We got there and we were drinking beer, and it was hot and it was really humid.
Very humid.
But we picked the hottest weekend in the summer
It's not the heat that'll get you. It's the humidity, bro. Always.
I hate that saying because I live in a very humid place now, and
it gets you. It gets you.
And I'm of the opinion I don't have that same opinion. I lived in Utah, and 105 degrees is 105 degrees, dog. It don't matter.
It got you. It got to you, huh?
Humid. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Damn.
If it's humid and it's 90 and you got a breeze, you know how it says like the feels like temperature is like 100 and 114. I would take that any day over the 105 degree Utah heat when you get in your car and you burn your skin on not even leather. Like I had fabric seats, but I was burning my skin in the car because it was just so hot.
What's the point of spontaneous combustion of car seats?
I don't know, but it had to be close, you know? But anyway, we picked the hottest weekend probably to go camping because during the nights I think it did get down to like the 70s, but during the day, especially on Saturday, I think the temperature got up to like 100 degrees, 101 degrees.
Yeah. We were under the trees so we could breathe, and the sun wasn't beaming down on us. That was the only reason why we were alive today.
Yeah, I remember like we were super hot, so I was in like basketball shorts and boots and shirt off, and everybody else had their shirt off. I think we were dying, you know. And of course we're camping, so you gotta have a fire. So we had a fire, but like nobody was near it. It was.
I have a picture of like the setup of like the two tents, the little like concrete dinner table thing. Not dinner. Picnic table.
Picnic table, yeah.
And then like the cars on the side, and like there's just smoke coming out of the fire, and everyone's just like sitting back, like and like shirtless, and you got the boots on, and Steven's got the tank top.
I forgot Steven was in a wife beater. He was he was chilling.
Oh my gosh, it was wild.
Yeah, so that was happening like later in the afternoon because we ended up getting up. I don't want to say like super early, but like fairly early.
Yeah, we got some breakfast and we went to the cave, right?
Yeah, we got some breakfast. We went to the cave because we were at Mammoth Cave Park, and so went up there. And like I remember, we had to like go through the safety orientation thing.
We all were masked up in 101 degree weather.
Yeah, that was rough. Did we have to wear the masks in the cave? I think that was just for eating, wasn't it?
Yeah, not in the cave. It was just for the like getting the tickets and the safety thing, because it was like a walk yourself type of tour, right? So we just walked around.
Right. Yeah, so they had parts of the cave closed down because of COVID. They didn't want to take anybody deeper into the cave because there was like some tight spaces, and generally those are guided parts of the tour.
Right, yeah, true.
So we didn't actually get the full Mammoth Cave experience. I actually would like to go back and like see what else is there because we really we went down and it was cool, but we stayed in like the main, like the main system is like a big old horseshoe, and we stayed in the main system. But there's several like other tunnels that go further down. So I would be interested to go and see those again, but
run it back.
Yeah.
Maybe not the whole thing.
Yeah, maybe just like the nature part of it, but
yeah. But yeah, no. And then after we came back, what did we do? Were we like, did we eat again, or did we come back and just start drinking?
Well, before like we came back, we did the horseshoe, and like we got to the very end of the horseshoe, and we're college kids, we're stupid, we're wild, and I don't remember why, but there was an inside joke about Fetty Wap during this trip.
Oh yeah, true. Oh god.
And like, let's do six to the cave, and there's a partner like standing over there at the end of the horseshoe, and then you just go, and you start making Fetty Wap noises.
That was so funny. Yeah, because I don't know, Steven is obsessed with Fetty Wap. Sounds like he's just groaning. So he'd be like, and we found an amphitheater, and there was like the crazy acoustics on that bitch, and it was so. Who was it? Me? Everybody did it, right? We went down there.
I don't think so. I think it was just you. I was like in the cave. You guys were doing that, and it was you were like echoing, and like the park ranger was looking at us weird, and there was other families there. So I got super embarrassed. Like I don't think I've been. It's hard to embarrass me, but that I was like, guys, what are we doing?
Just yelling at the top of your lungs in a cave that echoes the whole thing. Yeah. That was a good time.
So that happened, and then we're like, after that was the end. Like we came out of the cave, which, by the way, cave felt so good because it was so hot outside.
It was like 68 in there.
Yeah, it was nice. But we came out of the cave and we were just like looking around like the park section, and we found the amphitheater. And I don't think anybody else did. I think you went up there. And I was taking the video, and I have the video, and it's like Fetty Wap in concert, and you're doing it again.
Oh man, yeah, that was funny.
Well, we'll have to get an Instagram post going. I know I have that video, but I don't know if I have any of the other Kentucky photos because of my phone situation where I broke.
Because you slammed your phone in my door.
Yeah. So
that was wild.
We're going to play volleyball at an ASCE event, which is like American Society of Civil Engineers, the professional organization that we were in. And we were going to a volleyball event, and I like went to get in the car, and I was wearing shorts, and my phone fell out of my shorts right as I was closing the door. And so I hit my phone, and it like bent in half. And it was so perfect timing that I couldn't even be upset. And we still went and played volleyball and had a good time, but I was like...
It was so funny. It was so funny because you close the door, and my door like slams pretty easily.
Yeah.
And you close the door, and I just heard... and I was like, damn, did another thing break in my car? Because my car is like pieces, man. Like everything is fucked in that car. So I'm like, did another thing break? What happened? And you were like, was that my phone? And you just like, you like do this, and you like crouch down. And when you come back up, it's just like, it's like this. It's a Galaxy, it's a Galaxy Z Flip when you pull it out.
Yeah, it started as a Galaxy S10, and it came back a Z Flip.
It came back a Z Flip.
Yeah. But anyway, so I lost a lot of photos because I'm a dummy who didn't back it up to the cloud. But I don't have any photos from Kentucky, I don't think. But I know you guys got some.
Yeah, I have one or two.
So then after we got back from the cave, we were like, well, it's still too early to like do anything. I think we either, I'm not sure the order. We either went to go get firewood from the gas station, or we took a hike. Did we?
I think we went to get firewood first, because I remember that's no, wait. No, yeah. We went to get firewood first because that's when we crossed the river on a barge, a one-car barge. Remember that?
Yeah, the ferry. Yeah.
Yeah,
ferry. We had a ferry that would go back and forth, and I remember taking a video of that, which we thought that was crazy, but
so funny.
Yeah, and then I remember I didn't realize it at the time, but at the video I have of that, there's like I think it's a fake snake, but it's like sitting on top of like the box right next to the car. And I didn't realize it then because I was so psyched up about the ferry. But yeah, we went to go get firewood, and then I think we ended up getting lunch at this gas station because this gas station had everything. It had like ice cream and like food and other stuff.
It had 3 people working on there, and it had everything.
Yeah, all you needed right there was that gas station.
Yeah, that's true.
So then we came back and we took that hike. We were like, let's go see the spring or whatever, because we were like, we still had plenty of daylight left.
Dude, that spring, man, it was wild.
Yeah,
it was so cold. That water was so cold.
Well, we were like, the hike was awful because it was like over a hill and stuff, and like we were sweating really bad. It was super hot. Then we got to the spring, and like we're college kids. So we're like, can we?
Can we drink this water, please?
I remember somebody said it. Can we drink it? And I was like, probably shouldn't. I mean, it is
Yeah.
a spring, so
Yeah.
like it might not be bad, but I wouldn't.
Yeah.
And then, but I remember like, can we get in it? So we like took off our shoes and like started wading through the water, and it was super cold because it was coming from like the ground, like you could see
Mhm.
where it was coming out the ground right there.
Yeah.
So like essentially coming from the Mammoth Cave system, and we were
It was- Right. Yeah, it was
Nice.
freezing, man. Whenever we did the Tough Mudder and I jumped in the water there,
yeah.
that was the coldest I've ever been. But that was the second time. It was that spring, man. That thing was so cold. It was bone chilling. I remember I couldn't go below my knees because it would just hurt the bone.
Yeah. I think me and Kai were walking through, and there was like an area where like, so there was a spring that started like off this way, and then off the
Yeah.
right, another spring, and they both
There
came
was
together
two.
to stream. And so we were trying to get to the spring that was on the right, and so me and him were like mid thigh, and we were like, nah, this ain't happening. So we got back out of it.
Yeah. Can't
But
can't get the
After we got
tomatoes
done-
too cold.
after we got done with that, we came back to the campsite, and then we started drinking. It was like 5:30, and we started drinking.
Yeah. Yeah, we opened up the vodka, and I remember we had a strategy going. We're like, okay, I'll start drinking first and get blasted first, and then you guys go crazy after. That way, I'll recover. Right?
I don't think that was a strategy.
Maybe
I
it
think
wasn't.
that's
Yeah,
how
maybe
it happened.
hindsight. Yeah, maybe hindsight's 20/20, and it just happened to be that way.
It happened to be that way. It was good that it happened to be that way, but I think we just started drinking. And what was actually good was I didn't want to drink. For some reason, I was scarred from the pineapple vodka. We had it a lot during our freshman.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember not wanting to drink a whole lot of it.
So you drank all the beer, didn't you?
I essentially drank all the beer, all 3 or 4 beers. I remember I had like 2 or 3 the night before,
Mm-hmm.
but the rest of them I pounded this night. Like from 5:30 to whenever we went to bed, like 1:30, I had all 21 other beers.
It was wild because I remember like, okay, we came back from the hike, whatever, and then I remember like pre-gaming with like 2 beers, and I had brought like a few Blue Moons, and they're like kind of stronger than regular beer. So I drank one, I drank another one, and like we were probably severely dehydrated already
Yeah.
because it was so hot and we were all sweating. And then like the only thing I remember is like, drinking the beers, and then you guys saying, Pedro, you're already gone with like 2 beers, bro? What the hell? And like I started throwing rocks in the forest
Yes.
and like launching rocks at the forest and going crazy. And then it cuts to me waking up and it's already dark. And I'm like eating. I'm mid-bite on like the most delicious thing I've ever had in my life, man. And that's when I like black back in and I'm like, oh my god, this is such a great sandwich. And I'm like, where the fuck am I? And it's all dark and I can't see anything. And I'm like opening my eyes, I'm like, where am I? And I just have a sandwich in front of me and I can't even see what it is. I just know it's good as hell.
Well, to recollect what you missed, so you had your 2 Blue Moons. We were making fun of you, so I don't know if you got upset or if you just were tired of us. So you went over and started throwing rocks by the tree at the campsite.
Yeah.
But you were like, oh, whatever, like, that's fine. And Steven and Kai were trying to kill that bottle, man. We were joking and we were like, we got to kill everything. We can't bring anything back to, our parents. Yada, yada, yada. You got to kill it, got to kill it.
Keep in mind, this is a whole handle
Yeah, keep in mind,
of vodka.
this is like what is the handle size? Or is that one?
It's like a liter, no? Maybe more
Yeah,
than a liter.
Above that, I think 1.75 liter, maybe
700, yeah, 1.5.
1.5. There we go.
What's 0.75 plus 0.75?
I don't know. Engineering. But
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a big bottle, and they were trying to kill it, and they were putting some damage on it, but by like 10:30, there was still over half of it left. And but anyway, I think around 10:30 or 11, it was when Steven started making like I don't even know what he called it, but it was like pizza sandwiches that he was making in this sandwich maker for the campfire.
Mm-hmm.
He made it, and oh my goodness, it was so good. And by this time, he was toasted. So was Kyle.
He was halfway through a handle.
Yeah, they were halfway through a handle. So
I helped a little too. I remember I drank like a few shots too, but
yeah,
I had to stop because I was like, nah, I was too dehydrated.
So they were enjoying the fuck out of these sandwiches, bro. And Steve was like, "You guys want another one?" Like he was making some more. I think I had two. I think everybody had two.
It was so good.
But then we like sat back down by the campfire, continuing to pound beers. Like I've been drinking this whole time, and I thought I was gonna have to be, the supervisor for the longest time because everybody else was starting to like get not great. But
get not great.
When you went over there to throw rocks, after about 10 minutes of throwing rocks, you were just like kneeling or crouching by the tree. Burping.
Yeah.
Burping.
Yeah. I definitely, by the tree. Yep, I was hugging that tree, man. That tree is my best friend.
And this was in the days where I still couldn't fathom not being able to burp. Eventually I got used to it after 2 years, but I was like, bro, what the heck? Like, what are you doing over there? And you were like making really loud noises. So like our campsite neighbors had to have hated us. They had to have.
I was trying to get the burp out because I was suffering, man. I was like, just groaning in there. Nah, yeah. I remember going to throw rocks. I remember trying to burp, and then somewhere in between taking shots or whatever, it got dark. I blacked back in. I'm eating that sandwich. And I also remember, fun fact, for those nerds out there, I remember after like regaining consciousness and eating that pizza thing, I go to the woods to take a piss, and I look up, and it's like, trees everywhere and foliage or whatever the hell you say, leaves, and there is just a spot that you can see the stars. And we were like in the middle of nowhere, Kentucky, so we could see the stars pretty well. And I remember peeing and like struggling to standing up. And I look up, and for some reason I was in the middle of there wasn't a tree next to me. I should have like gone next to a tree, but I was just pissing in the middle of the woods. And I look up and I see something fly by, and it looks exactly like the International Space Station. And I was like, whoa, is that the International Space Station? No fucking way. And I remember I did my research and looked back like the following days where the ISS was, and around like 12 or midnight on that day, the ISS flew on top of us. And I was like, no fucking way I saw the International Space Station. So yeah, that was, sorry, funny little side note.
That's not where I thought that story was going, because I don't remember that. I do remember you going out there and being like, whoa, guys.
Yeah. I was like, guys, it's the International Space Station.
Fun fact for other nerds out there, most of the national parks, especially the ones out west, are, I don't know what the term is, but like they're like no light pollution, like certified or something like that, to where like you can literally go out there and that's the best place to see the stars. Like, you can go out with the telescope. Like when I went to Zion, that was the most stars I've ever seen in my entire life. Like I had a U moment in Kentucky where like I had to get to the bathroom, and we were drinking out there, and I stepped out from under the tree that we were under, and I just looked up, and it was like I felt like I was in Star Wars hyperspace. Like that's how many stars there were.
Your eyes were shining, twinkling with the stars.
I did the exact same thing too. I was like, guys, look, stars.
Yep.
But anyway, so after you regained consciousness, you stopped drinking, and then we talked at the fire for a long time, and they kept taking shots like every 10, 15 minutes. And I kept drinking beers after you came back because you stopped drinking. I was like, oh, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah.
And we talked a long, long time. I think we started, and it was Steven and I talking, and you and Kai, and then Kai came over to talk to me. And so it was me and Kai and you and Steven. And then after that, Steven decided he was going to bed. He was done.
Yeah.
And they had like this much left in the handle of vodka.
Dude, they got so close.
They got so close, but they couldn't quite do it.
I remember the next day they were so mad.
Yeah, they were more upset about not finishing the handle than they were about being insanely sick in Kentucky. But
It was wild. It was so wild. Yeah, Kai fell asleep.
Yeah, after Steven went to bed, because Steven went to bed and we had two tents. You had your tent, I had my tent. Steven went to bed and he was sleeping in my tent. He was my tent mate. And after that, like I moved over and me and you were talking for a long time, and Kai fell asleep in the lawn chair. And we were just like, he fell asleep, whatever, we're chilling. Like we knew that he was drunk. Did Steven start groaning first, or did Kai?
I think Kai did. Kai started groaning first, and we were like, "Oh my god, bro, he's not okay."
Yeah. So Kai was in the lawn chair. He had his head tilted back, and he started like making like. Backstory: Kai makes a lot of noises when he sleeps.
Yeah, we didn't know this then, did we?
No, we did, because I think no, we definitely did, because we'd taken a trip or two with him.
You're right. We took a trip to Champaign in the car, and he slept in the car, and we were all like dying laughing because he was sleeping in the car.
Sometimes he'll snore so loud that he wakes himself up, and it's so funny. But yeah, so we started making noises, and at this point we were like, okay, like, is this snoring or do we need to be concerned? And then he like, I don't remember if he started gargling or it made a very distinctly different noise. And you like,
and we're like, I was like, no, I'm not taking no chances, bro. And I just tackled him, and I put him on his side. And I think me tackling him and putting him on his side, like his stomach was already upset, and it like, it just culminated to him like waking up, scared as fuck, and just throwing up everywhere. Because I tackled him, like, we gotta put him on his side, bro. And he just started throwing up everywhere. And then we didn't have a pillow or anything, and it was outside by the fire. So I remember I got like a shop towels. And I put his head, like, I put him on the side, and I put his head on shop towels. And I was like, you're good, buddy. Just, like, chill there. You'll be all right.
Well, I think you got the shop towels out to wipe his mouth because
he threw up.
And so you got those out for that, and then you used them as a pillow for him because he was on rocks, like the campsite is gravel.
Yeah. And then we were like, oh, shit, like, if Kai's this bad and he's like, you know, feeling very unwell, we got to check on Steven in the tent because he's probably also unwell.
Well, so here's what happened. So you went Dr. Pedro on Kai, and I wasn't as bad as they were, but I had just pounded at least 18 beers, right? So I'm like freaking out. I've got my flavored vape out. I'm hitting that thing so hard. I'm like,
that was so funny. Because you're like, man, is he going to be okay? He's like, we really should check on Steven.
So we were sitting there, and you were like taking care of Kai, and you're like giving him water and stuff. And I'm sitting there like I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my god. And then we hear Steven. We hear this come out of the tent.
Yeah, we're like, he didn't bring anyone in there with him, did he?
Oh no! And so then you open the tent, like we're looking at him, and I couldn't even I couldn't even go in there. I was like, I got you, whatever you need, I'll get it, but I'm And
You're not. I remember he would not go on his side. Whatever I did, I would put him on his side, and he'd like flip back. He's like, huh, and like arms out like this, like the worst possible position.
yeah, I remember you saying like you got out of there. You know, the doctor is finally out of session. And you got out of there, and you're like, oh man, like he's not wanting to get on his side. And then my main concern was, did he throw up in my tent?
Yeah.
And you were like, no, he just like puked a little on his pillow. You're good. It's like, fuck. So now we're like taking care of them, making sure they're okay. Well, you're taking care of them, making sure they're okay. I'm like hitting a vape pen like it's fucking gonna save my life. Like
it was what like 3 a.m. by then, probably 3 or 4.
No, I think it was like 1:30 or 2.
Okay, fair.
But
fair.
me and you didn't get to sleep until like 4 a.m.
Yeah, because we ended up just talking after that, trying to see, because like we were like, is it a normal groan of Kai sleeping, or is it a?
Yeah. After they got that bad, I continued to drink beers, and then I finished them all. I was like, okay, after that, it's time to go to bed. But I didn't want to get in the puke tent.
So you slept in the car.
I was super afraid of the puke tent for some reason. So I went and got in my car and slept in my car and just absolutely just getting nothing, no bare necessities at all, just in the front seat of my car.
Dude, it's so funny. Because after you went to your car, I was like, okay, I'm getting some sleep because I gotta drive. It was like we had to drive like the next morning. We had to leave, right?
Yeah.
And it was like 1, and everyone was like piss drunk. So then I went to my tent and I slept, and I remember like it was summer, so the sun had to come out at probably like 5 or 6 a.m.
Yeah, around 6 probably.
So I remember the sun was like barely coming out, barely. And I'm in my tent sleeping, and Kai is just outside in the gravel, because I'm like, there's no way I'm getting him in anywhere. He's not moving, so I'm just gonna leave him over there with the shop towel pillow on. And I remember like I heard a noise, and I woke up, and I just opened the tent, and I look at him, and he's like sitting, like, you know, legs fully extended, but sitting down on his butt. And he's just like looking around like this. And he goes like this, and he looks up, and he sees the sky. And then he locks eye contact. He makes eye contact with me, and I make eye contact with him, and I'm like unzipping the tent, and I just look at him. And I'm like, and he just goes, "What happened?" And I'm like, "Buddy, you're alive!" Yes. And he just doesn't blink, nothing, and he just says it again. He's like, "What happened?" He's like, "Why am I outside?"
The funny thing too is when we were going down there, he was so concerned because we're in black bear country. So he was like scared of black bears and bobcats and everything else. And we had seen like deer like come up to the campsite.
Mm-hmm.
And so after all of that, he was the one that ended up sleeping on the ground.
Yeah. We let the fire going for him.
Yeah, right. But, yeah, I do remember you saying that. And then when I got up, y'all had been up for a little while. Like you and Steven and Kai had all been up, and we had to be out of our campsite by like 11, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up getting up at around like 8 o'clock. And of course, as we know that I do, I did not drink water before I went to bed, and so I woke up with an insane hangover because I had just drank basically the entire case of beer. And so I woke up with an insane hangover, like was drinking water and just like could not function. Like I was sitting at the picnic table and I'm just like, guys, I can't right now.
I can't. And Steven wasn't going to be able to drive either, let alone Kai.
Yeah.
Because
I had to buck up.
They woke up and they saw the handle, and then Steven grabbed it, and he was like, "Bro, we were so close. Look." He's like, "Fuck, we were so close, man."
Yeah. It was funny because I remember everybody just being really sick the next morning. Everybody except for you. You were okay because you had stopped. But us three were insanely sick. Like, it was like back and forth to the outhouse. Like, we could not stay out of there. I mean, I know it's a little graphic, but I was shitting myself like horribly all morning. I was like,
in a campsite.
I could not do anything in, and it got to be like 10, 15, and I was like, okay, like I need to quit being a weenie and buck up and let's get this campsite picked up. So we got the campsite picked up, and we were supposed to be out of there at 11. I don't think we left until like 11:30. But then we finally got packed up. You know, I went to the bathroom for the last time. I was like, okay, let's see how far I can make it.
Yeah. And then that day we were like, let's go back to Carbondale, right?
Yeah. You had talked on the phone on the way there with Aubrey, and they had invited us to come visit them because they had an apartment at Aspen.
True.
And so we went to go visit Aubrey and I think it was our summer roommate. Was it Gretchen?
Yeah. It was both of them.
So we were like going up to Carbondale to visit them, and but we like left the campsite, and it's all those twisty, windy roads. So it was horrible. Like,
we didn't last an hour, did we?
I don't know how long we made it, but it was awful. Like, I had the window all the way down. I was like trying to get some fresh air because like I was in bad shape. And Steven was actually doing better than I thought for sure he was going to be struggling. And I kept checking in on him, like, "You okay, buddy? You okay, buddy?" And he was like, "Nah, yeah, I'm good. I mean, I don't feel good, but I'm good, you know."
Yep.
And I remember we got to this like intersection in the middle of nowhere, and there was a gas station that looked a little nicer than most. And I was like, "Okay, guys, I gotta stop for a little bit. Like, this ain't working."
Take a breather. I remember that gas station.
Yeah.
It was like all gravel, and it was like a little wooden finish. It was cool.
Yeah. I remember going in, and I think Kai had beat me to the bathroom, and I was so pissed. I was like, no fucking way. Like, I gotta go so bad. So I waited. I finally went to the bathroom, blew that shit up.
Hell yeah.
Then we came back out. I remember I had bought like a Gatorade or something, and it was like we just sat there in the parking lot for like 15 to 20 minutes because I was like, "That's me a moment. I can't right now."
Just trying to recover.
Yeah. And
oh my God.
Eventually, I think after 15 minutes or so, we were like, "Okay, we need to get back on the road." So got back on the road, and we were probably still in like the Kentucky highway where there was just no straight roads for another 45 minutes or so before we hit like a freeway or interstate or anything. But after the interstate, I remember being fine. Like, I was okay. And by the time we got to Carbondale, I was fine. Like, we were doing good. I think we had stopped and got food and everything was good to go. But we got to Carbondale, and I don't remember. I think did they want to go to the pool, or did we ask to go to the pool?
I think they wanted to go to the pool, and then they were like, fine, whatever.
Yeah. We were like, we'll visit, but we didn't really have like, you know, we were hungover as fuck. We were on the way back. Like, Kai had to go all the way back to Chicago. We stopped in Carbondale for a little while. We played, we were in the pool, and we played like pool volleyball, I think.
Yeah, we played volleyball. Dude, I'm just like remembering this. This was like the wildest day ever because we got like basically on average we stopped intaking alcohol at like 1, maybe, or like 12, right?
I mean,
like midnight.
I kept drinking until probably 2 or 2:30.
Yeah, you're a maniac. But like on average, like maybe 1 a.m. And then we left the campsite at 10-ish.
No, we left at 11:30 for sure. We were
11:30.
Yeah.
And it's what, a 3-hour drive from Mammoth Cave to Carbondale, or is it a 2-hour drive?
No, it's a 3.
So we got to Carbondale at best 2.
I think it was around 2 or 3, and then we were in Carbondale for a few hours.
So we left at what, like 5 or 6 from Carbondale?
Yeah, we only stayed a couple hours. We played some volleyball, and they took us up to their apartment for some reason just to see it. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, we were just checking it out. I guess I don't know. And we were all like grimy as fuck because we hadn't taken a shower in 2 days. I think that's probably why we took them up on the offer of the pool, because we just kind of jumped on the pool and fucking wash it away with chlorine.
Hadn't showered, and then I think we left. We ended up leaving Carbondale around like 4 or 4:30 maybe.
And this was Sunday, wasn't it?
Yeah, this was Sunday.
And we all had jobs that summer.
Yes. Wait, did Kai have a job that summer?
I think he did, yeah. Maybe he didn't.
I don't think he did that year.
That was sophomore year. He had an internship junior year. Yeah, so he didn't have a job.
But you, me, and Steven all had jobs.
That was wild.
And so we left Carbondale like 4:30, and I remember.
No, we stayed like that. 5 maybe.
Me and Steven ended up getting to his house like right as the sun was setting or about to set.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably didn't get home I didn't get back to my house until like 8 or 8:30, and then went to bed and went to work the next day. So
yeah. If we left at 5, probably got to my house at 8, and I remember because it's a 3-hour drive from my house to Carbondale, and then Kai had a 3-hour drive to his house from my house. So he slept the whole time, and then I woke him up like, hey, I'm home, and he's like, perfect, thank you, man, appreciate it. Dab him up, take his car out of my driveway, and he started driving his 3-hour portion.
Nice.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well, that was a pretty insane trip. So what ended up happening, which I'm a little upset about, but it's the price I paid. So after that first year of doing an internship close to home, I was like, fuck this. I want to go places and see new things.
Yeah.
So I went to Utah the next year for an internship, and then the year after that I went to South Carolina for an internship. So like I was never around to do these summer get-togethers anymore.
True.
You guys did do several summer get-togethers, and I think both years that I was gone.
Yeah, well, I got lucky because I got lucky or unlucky, however you want to put it, because I also was trying to do the same thing you did. So I got my first internship in Minnesota, but since COVID, they rolled it back to a remote. So I stayed home, but I really wanted to go to Minnesota and check it out, Minneapolis. But it didn't work out, and I stayed home. So then, Max's gang and Steven and Kai, we hung out that summer, and that was cool. That was the summer you were in Utah.
Yeah, and I remember coming back in like the first week or so, like you guys had a big argument about something, and I was like, I wasn't the mediator, but like they were asking questions to try and see whose side I was on.
Yeah, we had a bunch of those.
It was pretty funny. I got thrown right back into the mix as soon as I get back. But anyway, Kentucky Part 2 coming up with a bachelor party.
Oh yeah,
it's us 4 confirmed. Maybe Max. We'll see who shows up. But going to Tampa, we're gonna have a good time, and you're gonna hopefully hear some stories from the first night that we're there. We're getting there on Thursday. No, we're getting there Friday in the morning. But,
Friday morning.
We'll hopefully have some stories for you to talk about. We'll have Steven and Kai on. We'll talk to them. If you guys have any specific questions that you want to ask Steven and Kai about any of the stories we've told so far, send them in. We'll ask them and get their answers live on the live stream. Once again, we're doing a live stream at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So tune in for that. Audio of that live stream will be posted the following Wednesday. That'll be our episode for the week. And I might post a poll or something on Instagram to see kind of what the audience wants us to talk about in terms of other stuff for that live stream. But we'll get some interesting, fun content for you guys. And that being said, Kentucky Part 2 coming up.
All right. Do I stop recording now? I don't know how this thing is going to go.
Yeah, you can stop recording.
All right. Ah, I don't have a mouse. There we go.